Hi, my name is Kiké, and you're tuning in to Climate Action Figures.
Well, hello and welcome to another fascinating edition of Climate Action Figures. My name is John Whiddon, and this week on the show, you get to meet Kiké. But first, this week's QuickFix, which comes to us, are you ready for this? From Finnegan, the 4-year-old Shorkie from Red Deer. Finnegan, who apparently speaks English, says, ask your person to use compostable dog poop bags to pick up you-know-what. When you're out enjoying parks and nature, please clean up other people's garbage if you don't want a curious dog like me to eat it. Well, that was very interesting. Thank you very much, Finnegan and Finnegan's owner, for sending that in. Welcome, Kiké. What do you think about that quick fix?
I really like that. I heard that in Toronto, they can actually use dog's poop for energy.
Is that right? How do they do that?
Biofuel.
Very interesting. Now, Kiké, one of our audience members and friends, Claire, who is with 4R Kids, look that one up, by the way. It's such a great organization. Claire sent us a news article from Saskatchewan entitled, No One is Listening. Children Hold Climate Rally Outside Legislature. So, Kiké, you were named as the organizer. What inspired you to assemble a bunch of kids outside the legislature?
Because my climate anxiety had been fairly bad, and that Friday there was a PD day, and since quite a few kids would be off of school, I decided to organize a strike or a rally at the legislature. That's our legislature building. I'm really proud of it.
And Kiké, have you organized a protest before this?
So I have protested before, but I haven't organized a protest. That was my first.
How many people actually showed up for the protest?
About 15.
Wow. And while you were there protesting, what kind of feedback did you get from people who just happened to wander by?
So lots of people honked their horns when we walked by, which was really nice. And quite a few people said, good job, climate change is like an important problem, and they're glad that I'm doing this.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. In Saskatchewan, sometimes we wonder if the government is listening about climate change, but it's people like you who maybe have their ears perk up a little bit. Now, Kiké, organizing a protest like this cannot be super easy. What was the trickiest part of making it happen?
Probably to get it spread around, since I don't have social media, it was hard to get lots of people there. But some of my friends who also are concerned about climate change have really helped me spread the word about of it.
What did you find was the most effective way of spreading that news?
I think that places where people converge about climate change on the internet, because lots of people will be aware and ready to attend something like that there.
Now, media quoted you as having said, we can stop this, but only if we work together. And I hope now that we can change the world, and this time for the better. Kiké, what do you imagine working together might look like?
I don't want this to be like a political thing, like left or right. I want all the people to work together to recognize this as a real crisis because it hasn't really been recognized as a crisis before.
I have to pause here and ask how old you are, Kiké.
I'm 11 years old.
11 years old, and you're talking about not making this a political issue and not having left or right. That's amazing. Why is that important?
Because if it's a political issue, everything moves so slowly, and we don't have a lot of time to try to change this. And it needs to be like humans of the earth united against this problem that will threaten us all.
That sounds like a great slogan. Humans of the Earth United. Excellent. Now, Kiké, you brought together 15 people at a protest, and many of them made inspiring comments in the article that I read, the article that then made it to one of our audience members and then to us. How does it feel for you to have been the brains behind that operation and then to see that kind of publicity and those kinds of comments go out publicly?
It made me feel really good. I didn't expect that there would be any news on that, and I feel really proud to have organized it. And yeah.
Now, Kike, let's talk a little bit more about you. You are a runner. How did that get started?
Just because I'm really strong mental state and I'm able to will myself to just keep going when I'm even really, really tired.
So it's long distance running, I'm guessing.
Yes, definitely. I'm terrible at sprinting.
What kind of distances do you like to run?
As far as I can, my parents won't let me run farther than 5K, but now they're
That's
letting me run 10.
that's pretty impressive for a young person of your age. So congratulations on that. Earlier, you mentioned that your climate anxiety was fairly high. I'm curious to know what you feel are the biggest contributors to your climate anxiety.
Just being able to see the signs of it in your everyday life and knowing that almost anything you do will contribute to it. It's hard because you have to balance still enjoying yourself and making sure you don't get into the major consumerism culture.
Right. It is a tricky line to walk for sure. What are the things that you've done that you feel are making a little difference in terms of mitigating that?
I don't eat meat because I just feel like it gives me so much guilt. I reuse plastic bags because I don't know why everyone always throws them out. And our family has a compost, which I feel like is really great.
The meat thing is interesting because a lot of people don't realize how much food could be grown on the same space of land that it takes to raise, let's say, a cow, right?
All the food that we use to feed animals for meat, if we use that for grain and other stuff like that, we could feed 3.5 billion more people.
Wow, amazing. And amazing that you have those statistics at your fingertips. Going back to climate anxiety for a second, I'm curious, Kiki, to know if running helps you with your climate anxiety.
Oh, definitely. It's one of the only things that I feel like I can use to just get away. It makes me free. I don't know.
Kike, I'm told that you love nature, but particularly birds, trees, and mushrooms. What is special about mushrooms as part of the natural environment?
Well, they're like these magical creatures of the woods, and they're like the decomposers of literally everything. They store carbon underground, even more so than trees, and they're the only things that can decompose trees' wood, which, if they didn't exist, plants wouldn't come onto land, and then neither would animals, and thus us.
Magical creatures of the woods. I feel like they should have had a bigger part in Lord of the Rings now, somehow. Now, Kike, what got you interested in climate change?
I remember when I was 8, I kept seeing these books about climate change, but I feel guilty when I look back on that now because I always avoided them because it felt too big and too scary to even tackle it. But then I read a book about Greta Thunberg and how she's a youth that's actually making change, and that was really inspiring. And it actually made me want to look and see this problem as it was.
This podcast's roots are in climate anxiety. It was a bunch of research I did as a teacher that told me, yeah, young people are really feeling climate anxiety these days. So that's why I thought this would be a good idea to put out the good word about what young people are doing so it can give us a little hope. What other things are really important to you in terms of helping with climate anxiety in our youth these days?
I think that really just talking about it and not trying to hide it, because last summer I felt like I was embarrassed and I had so bad climate anxiety that sometimes I couldn't eat. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have. I did a strike without telling my parents. It wasn't good, but it made me feel better. And it made me learn that hiding climate anxiety is just going to make it worse.
So you did a strike without your parents' knowledge.
Yeah, I made a sign. I made little leaflets, but I made sure to keep it, and they didn't know, and it was really scary for them.
You
I
had
know.
some big talks about this, I bet,
We did.
but it gave you some power somehow.
Yeah, it felt like it gave me power, and it was something against climate anxiety because nothing else would work.
So tell us a little bit about the chat you had with your parents after that. What did you take away from that?
That it's probably not the right thing to just like go out by yourself,
Just
but
because of your age?
just because it might get a few people to like hear and listen, but if you organize something that's not just you, then it's got a bigger effect. And then you can also help other people who are dealing with climate anxiety to like take action, because action is the best. It's the best thing that it's the best antidote.
So you say, Kiké, don't just act on your own, see if you can involve other people and work with other people. I wonder if there are some local organizations that you love that you'd like to give a shout out to here.
I really like Enviro Collective YQR. It's like an environmental discussion site and like to help connect and spread the word about climate related things. And I also really like Eco Stress Sask. It's where I met my good friend Amy.
Well, and I'll jump in there for a second because I don't know, you probably don't realize that last season on the podcast here, we interviewed Catherine from Eco Stress Sask. So
Oh,
that's a
really?
very cool connection between you two.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Now, what is next for Kiké?
I have a petition to pressure our Saskatchewan government into taking action on climate change. I've got like a few hundred signatures, and at this rate, if I get enough signatures, then it will be presented at question period by Jared Clark, the NDP Minister of the Environment, the Shadow Minister of the Environment, then. And I want to contact media in advance, make it like an event to spread awareness about climate change. And I hope that I might get a chance to talk to the Minister of the Environment for the SAS party about like actual change because they haven't been doing much, really.
That sounds fascinating. And are you hoping to actually be in the gallery to watch that happen in the legislature?
Yeah, that's what I plan to. And then like talk to the Minister of the Environment afterwards. That'd be great.
That will be very cool. We'll watch out for that for sure. Now, before we wrap up today, we need to definitely hear about your climate action. I mean, you've given us so many already. You could just say, yeah, I've listed them all. But is there something else you had picked for your climate action today?
Mm-hmm. I'm organizing a strike in May on the PD day then so that more kids will be out of school. And I want it to be a fairly large event just to show that there are lots of people in Saskatchewan who are concerned about this. Because you probably didn't know, but before COVID-19, there were strikes of over 1,000 people in Regina.
Wow. I didn't hear that there were over 1,000 people. That's amazing. So you're hoping to get up to those kind of numbers?
Maybe not quite that yet, but like I'm hoping for like maybe 100.
Well, that will be wonderful to gather people together for your climate strike, and you're doing it on a PD day, so it does as little as possible to disrupt actual classes. Is that right?
And also so more people might attend.
Yeah, right. So, if to our listeners, if you or someone you know is in Saskatchewan, please let them know that they should keep their eyes and ears open for more information about the PD Day on which date?
May 16th.
On May 16th. Keep your eyes open for that and see if you can get involved. And it's just going to be in Regina, is that right?
It's going to be in Regina at the legislature.
Very interesting. We will definitely be watching out for that. Last question for you, Kiké. What gives you hope?
I really like the tree saplings that I've been growing, like bringing new life is trees into the world.
Do you have some of those around your house, or where are you growing them?
In the window right
Oh,
above me. These
the
are some of
magic
them.
hand is passing you the saplings as we speak. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
This is
magic hand.
this is an elm tree and this is a birch tree.
Okay, and so you're just rooting those in your windowsills, and then you're going to plant them in the spring. Is that right?
In the Cathedral Village Forest program, also in Regina. Yeah.
That sounds like something maybe needs another few words. Some people should go visit this. What is it exactly?
Okay, so it's like planting a little baby forest in the park in Cathedral. We're gonna have like tree planting soon, also in May, and yeah, I think it's a really great thing.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And Kiké, the way you speak is so eloquent. I cannot wait to see what you do with your life. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm glad you have not allowed climate anxiety to quash your spirit. And I thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and I'm excited to keep making change.
We're very happy to hear that. And thank you, dear listener. If you enjoyed this episode, how could you not enjoy this episode? Please share it with a friend, relative, or even a foe, because surely it will give them hope. We will be back again next week, same time, same place, to hear from another climate action figure. Until then,
Go figures!
This has been Climate Action Figures. Our show is produced and hosted by John Whidden. Our creative consultant is Kayla McIntosh. Our theme song is Hawaii Vacation by Tovari. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Climate Action Figures. That's all one word. And if you have any other questions or comments that arose from this or any episode, feel free to reach out to us at climateactionfigures@gmail.com. And thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with another Climate Action Figure.